Hello everyone and welcome back. Pawn captures, simply developing. Simply developing, bishop captures, queen captures. Bishop captures, queen captures. Castles. Pawn captures, knight captures. Rook captures, knight captures, pawn captures, rook captures. Pawn captures. Pinning the enemy king, rook captures, and check. With a pin on the king, trying to control the center. And check. Fighting for the center. Rook captures. Grabbing more space in the center. And check. And check. And check. Black 1. White 1. Fighting for the center. A developing move, and fianchetto the bishop. Castles, and fianchetto the bishop. Castles. Pawn captures. Bishop captures, queen captures. Knight captures, queen captures, a developing move. Pawn captures, queen captures, pinning the enemy king. Bishop captures, pawn captures, trying to control the center, pinning the enemy king. Queen captures, pinning the enemy king. Pawn captures, queen captures. Rook captures. And check. Queen captures. And check. Fighting for the center, black 1. A developing move, castles. Simply developing. Castles. Simply developing, and fianchetto the bishop. A developing move. Bishop captures, pawn captures, grabbing more space in the center. Pawn captures, bishop captures. Rook captures, a developing move. Knight captures, queen captures, simply developing. Rook captures, and check. Bishop captures. A developing move. Simply developing. A developing move. Pinning the enemy king. Trying to control the center. Bishop captures, queen captures. Fighting for the center. Pawn captures. And check. Knight captures, with a pin on the king, a developing move, and check. Pawn captures. Queen captures, and check. Pawn captures, and check. Simply developing, and check. With a pin on the king, fighting for the center. And check. The game ended in a draw. pawn captures, simply developing, grabbing more space in the center. Simply developing. A developing move. Simply developing, castles, castles. Pawn captures, pawn captures. Bishop captures, pawn captures, bishop captures, bishop captures. With a pin on the king, and check. And check. Queen captures, queen captures. Rook captures, queen captures, queen captures, rook captures, knight captures, pawn captures, pawn captures. Pawn captures. And check. Black 1. Pawn captures, simply developing. Simply developing. Pawn captures, a developing move. Bishop captures, knight captures, pawn captures, simply developing, and check. And check. Queen captures, with a pin on the king, pawn captures. Bishop captures. Rook captures. Fighting for the center, rook captures, castles. A developing move, rook captures. Knight captures, and check, rook captures, with a pin on the king, rook captures. And check. With a pin on the king. Fighting for the center. Simply developing. Trying to control the center, rook captures, pawn captures, white 1. Pawn captures. With a pin on the king. A developing move, and fianchetto the bishop. Castles, castles. Simply developing. Queen captures. Queen captures. Knight captures, queen captures. Pawn captures. Rook captures. Knight captures, rook captures, grabbing more space in the center. And fianchetto the bishop. Grabbing more space in the center, pinning the enemy king. Pinning the enemy king, white 1. Pawn captures, a developing move. Simply developing. Simply developing. Castles. With a pin on the king. Bishop captures, pawn captures, castles. Bishop captures, pawn captures. A developing move. A developing move. Trying to control the center, pawn captures, knight captures, pawn captures. A developing move, knight captures, pawn captures, simply developing, trying to control the center. And check. And check. Queen captures. Rook captures, pinning the enemy king. Rook captures, and check. Pinning the enemy king. Rook captures, and check. White 1.